Hey guys, before we get into the video, just want to let you know, if you use my promo code EEDC at White Mountain Knives, you get 10% off. If you're interested, check out my Patreon. We give bi-monthly giveaways. The Patreon's www.patreon.com/EEDC. Also, check me out on Instagram. I only use that to communicate with you guys, so check me out. Everyday_EDC77. If you guys have questions, want to talk, just hit me up. Alright, enjoy the video, guys. What's going on, guys? My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. Today, I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite knives that I experienced in 2021. Now, this has nothing to do with what came out when. Drink time. This has nothing to do with what came out when. I'm not sure what year these dropped. A lot of these dropped in 2021, but not all of them. I narrowed this list down by 10 to 10. There is one that is not on here and is a Civivi representative. And that, you guys are going to kill me, but is my Civivi Perf. Okay, so my Civivi Perf is probably, let me see if I could change this angle just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. I spent so much time lining these up and then I didn't like what I just did. I got like this weird angle going on. Real quick, a couple honorable mentions before we get this started. So the very first one, which I don't have on hand, just like the Civivi Perf, is my Spyderco Smock in M4. I got my Smock back in hand, and I just love it so much. I love a lot of Spydercos. The Native Chief is one that I really, really like. The Shaman's pretty good. I love the PM2. I love the PM3, or Para 3, rather. And the Smock really takes my heart over them all. I enjoy carrying the Smock. It's the easiest to carry. It's the most fun. It's probably just as practical. It's just not a hard-to-use knife. But the other honorable mention before we get this list started is a ZT308. Now, I never carry this. It's one of those that's just too damn big. Like, maybe now it's the wintertime I might carry it. It's fun. But, oh my gosh, is this thing just a monstrosity. The liner's actually super fun. The frame is super fun. It almost has like a slight hint of stick, but it's like the perfect amount that just makes you feel almost like you're just barely, I don't know if it's stick or if it just wedges in there, but wow, is this fun. Ergonomics, this is a monster. This thing is so cool, so beast, and it's just a beautiful monstrosity. A little impractical for most situations, but yep, this makes my honorable mentions along with the Spyderco Smock. Sorry, I don't have the Smock here. I actually got scales on the way for the Smock, so I'll show you guys that installation whenever that gets back from Corey and the scales get here. All right, on to the other video. Sorry for this interjection. Sorry to interrupt you, Tyler. Going back there. Okay, so my Civivi Perf. Yeah, you guys are going to be like, what the hell, the Perf? Yeah, the Perf. I just thought that was such a user-friendly knife. It's the same as the Nox, but it's more fun. It has a little bit, you know, that Gerber Para whatever thing going on that we all fell for, you know, before we were knife guys. You're like, this is so cool. Well, it's still cool. I enjoyed it. Let me see, so make sure this isn't falling. Okay, hold on. But yeah, it's still cool. I still like it, right? It's one of those knives that I found in my pocket a lot. It was super simple to carry, probably easier than any knife on this table. Super thin blade stock and just fun. Really snappy action. I would still have it today if it weren't for me giving away that knife to one of my electricians at work. Now, I say giveaway, and then he made me take his money, but yeah, so that's kind of where that stands, right? Let's see, I'm trying to get you guys the best view possible without kind of showing the light distorter that we got. So, yeah, I ended up giving it away. He ended up paying me for it, but it is what it is, right? So, the Civivi Perf is going to take number 10. Number 9. Now, these are not listed in any, or these are not laid out in any order, and I kind of don't know what's next. I'm going to go off of feels, and my number 9 favorite knife that I experienced in 2021 is the 8015 or the 8015 Lite. I had the 8015 at the beginning of the year, ended up selling it, and I ended up getting the 8015 Lite. This is such a good knife. This is probably the most beast knife on this table, short of that Hinderer. It is ridiculously fun to fidget with. Watch. Whoop. That's awesome, right? You can do that where it opens up and it goes down, or you can just flick it out. That was a bad flick. That looked bad, but it's hard to do under camera. You can reverse flick it. Yeah, I swear, you guys, I can do all this. There we go. All right, so you can do all that's the fun stuff, but it's just a beast of a knife. Ergonomically, it's beast. The regular version comes in S35 VN. This is coming in AUS 10A. I have no problem with either or. Might as well go with the AUS 10A, because if you're going to go hard use like I use this knife for at times, it's going to be dull whether or not it's S35 or AUS 10A. So you might as well just go cheap. I got this for 85 bucks on Amazon. Talk about a steal. Now, if you were to go with the S35 where you get the G10 instead of the FRN, and I could tell you from owning both, the patterns are the same. Generically, let's see here. The patterns are the same. So they feel the same to me. Everything about this feels the same as the expensive version. So I don't know why one would just pay more for the S35. This is such a good knife. Such a badass tool. This thing is just incredible. The 8015 Light. All right, let's narrow it down. So probably my number 8 most or favorite experienced knife in 2021 would be my Vero Isotope. Now you're saying, why is that so low on the list? Part of it is because I just don't carry it as much, but it's not like the most ergonomic beast. It's just a really cool knife. It's so well made. Vero just has really cool designs. Now, I did not like the Axon, but this is so damn smooth, so fidgety. It's just fun. Let's see here. Whoop. The reason it kind of bounces back, I talked about it before, is it has that little ramp up there, so it wants to go back on there, and it makes the whole situation super smooth. You can just flick it right there. Don't even know that that flipper tab is there. Look at that. So the Vero Isotope, this is just a gorgeous looking knife. And the other part of me that really liked this was before Metal Complex came out with that video where he's just gushing over this thing, I got this in, right? And I made a trade, and I'm constantly trading. I don't even know what I'm trading for half of the time. I'm just trying to keep the values the same and keep, channel content going. And I got this in a trade, and I'm looking at it, and it's like, this thing's really nice. So I looked up reviews to see what everybody was saying about it. People hated this knife before Metal Complex came out. Like all the reviewers, which there was only like 3. I think it was Bearded Gear and Lefty. They just shredded this knife. And I'm like, what? And they were all hating on the action. They were like, the action's terrible. And I'm sitting there, and sure, it wasn't dropped shut when I got it. You know what I did? I got it, and I just went like this. Held in that lock bar and just did this for like an hour. Next thing I know, I went like this, and I went, what? This is sick, and it's so damn smooth. So very nice. So cool looking. It's classy. It's kind of in that weird genre, though, where it doesn't get carried because it's a classy knife. It's like super classy looking. It's elegant looking. But it's large. So it's like, it doesn't go in dress pants, but it looks elegant. It's crazy. I think a mini version of this would be cool. But all in all, the Vero Isotope, my number 8 pick. Very, very cool. Super glad that I have this. I doubt that I will ever trade or sell it unless it's for something pretty incredible, right? All right, let's move on down the list here. I would say next on the list, we'll call it number 7, I'm going to reach for my EMP Nimble. Now, this is kind of a biased answer, but the EMP Nimble is ridiculously ergonomic, and that took me a little while to understand, because in the beginning, it didn't feel right to me. And then I went to the Berg Blade Slim and was carrying that, and this is definitely more ergonomic than the Berg Blade Slim. It's very fun to fidget with. There's multiple deployment methods. You can reverse flick it. You can thumb flick it. You can front flip it. You can just, it's just a really fun little knife, and it's very functional. Very functional. And it carries in your pocket very well. I've actually carried this in my 5th pocket several times because I wanted to carry several different knives. Not to mention, the guy who runs EMP EDC is amazing. He sets the bar for customer service. This guy is truly probably the best thing that this community has, or at least the image of the best thing. He kind of sets that bar. And I have the thick boy on the way, and that would probably be on the list over this if I had it already, but we'll wait. It's all right. But the EMP Nimble, very, very cool. Go check out him on Instagram. He's got the EMP Nimble. He's dropping like the Nimble version 2. I think he's coming out with the Nimble XL soon, so it's going to be like a 3.5 inch with a sheep's foot. It looks so good. I think he's going with a sheep's foot. He brought it up. I don't know. So the Nimble. Very, very cool looking knife. Very functional. Love it. Trying to put these back as I go. So next on the list, as far as knives that or my favorite knives of 2021 that I've experienced, would probably be the Ray Laconico Esprit. Now you're saying, once again, how is that so low on the list? Well, it's not that it's low on the list. This is the list of my favorites, right? I actually love carrying this knife. For a while there, it's so good that it got boring. Like Ray Laconico's designs are so good, they're boring. And that's a weird thing to say, and it's kind of like a we're spoiled type of thing to say. But that's kind of where this falls, is it was so good it was boring, so I had to take a break from it. But I did carry the living shit out of it. And this does everything that you needed to do in a knife. It is absolutely fantastic. And I truly think this is one of, if not the best EDC for EDC. Now, if you're talking about outdoor shit or extra slicey shit only, then yeah, this doesn't win. But because I'm talking EDC, where it's the jack of all trades, master of none, that I'm right now king of the hill, the Esprit. So the Esprit, fantastic freaking knife. All of these knives you can't get, by the way. I should double back on that. The Nimble, they're dropping soon. The 8015 Light you can get all the time. The Vero Isotope, yeah, you're probably going to have to go to the secondary market. Let's talk price, too. So the Esprit, that was like $220. The EMP Designs Nimble, that was like $280. The Vero Isotope comes in around $500. And the 8015 Light, $85 to $120. All right, and then there were 5. So these 5 are my 5 favorite knives that I've experienced in 2021. I didn't mention the Civivi Perf's price either. That's coming in at like $60. Nitro V steel, pretty cool. Okay, so these 5 are my favorite 5 that I've experienced in 2021. Top 5. So this isn't as far as most used. So if this was most used, my Benchmade Bugout would be number 1 all day, every day. It's the easiest thing to carry, and this thing is a game changer once. So I added some titanium scales. These are the Flytanium crossfade scales. These are a game changer for the Bugout. If you don't have the crossfade scales for the Bugout, whether or not it's titanium or not, this makes the knife feel so much more substantial in hand. So it changes from like this little just dinky guy to something that makes a lot of sense. So ridiculously easy to carry, fun to fidget with, right? Whatever. Fun to fidget with, and really, really cool. Last, this is a 20 CV blade, so that's cool, which makes a lot of sense on a Bugout, right? Because you need that edge retention. It's not going to be necessarily like the Esprit itself has a little bit thicker blade stock. What did I do with my Esprit? Did I put that away? There it is. The Esprit itself has a little bit thicker blade stock, and it's going to be a little bit tougher. That edge is slightly more robust, right? So that's why I think the Esprit is a little bit better of an EDC than the Bugout, but the Bugout's going to be a little bit better of a slicer. It's just an overall really good, fun knife to carry, and while I talk about EDC needing toughness, realistically, this has tackled anything I needed to. Last, this did come with a chip tip, so I took some, basically I took it to a belt sander and I shaved the top of it off, and I tried to crown the spine a little bit. Maybe I'll do a little bit more with that in the future. But because of that and adding the scales, I kind of made this mine. And because it's mine, it makes me feel good. I love this knife. And truly, I think this knife is better than the Super Freak. I had the Super Freak, and I just choose this knife. So the Bugout is my number 5 pick, but probably my number 1 most used knife. Love it. Moving on. Then there were 4 favorite knives for 2021. So what's left on the table is the Dylan Mallory Designs Forest. There is the QSP Legatus, which you guys are like, what a sleeper, right? We have the Berg Blade Slim and my Hinderer Skinny Sheep's Foot. I don't know that the Hinderer is a 2021 acquisition. I don't know when I got this thing. I know I've had it for about a year now. And I know that I love it. It is a knife that is near and dear to my heart. I bought several scales, a bunch of hardware, taken it apart, done some mods, and it's one that will forever be my Hinderer. So that's what these knives are. Now I'll kind of go through and I'll explain them as I'm choosing these. So I think next on the list as far as favorites of 2021 would have to probably be my QSP Legatus. Now, I was torn between putting the QSP Penguin in titanium or the Legatus. Now, 2 totally different knives, but both representing QSP. So the reason I chose the Legatus is because this is a sleeper. Everybody knows about the Penguin. So the Penguin I do carry more than this. But this adds so much joy to my life knowing that they made such a high-end knife with their name on it that nobody really cares about, but it's so good. The ergonomics are so good. It is so beautiful and so well done, QSP. And I'm a QSP fanboy at heart. That's why this thing really means a lot to me. I took a shot in the dark in buying this. The reason I say that is because I knew nothing about the Legatus, but I've been eyeing it for a while. Trying to clean this thing up a little bit while we're doing this. I've been eyeing it for a while, and it's like I see it in Blade HQ, and I'm like, I've heard nothing about it. I'm not gonna get it. I've heard nothing about it. I'm not gonna get it. And then I'm like, dude, you're a QSP fanboy. You're a reviewer. You have an excuse. Just do it. So I pulled the trigger and I did it, right? And I couldn't be happier. This thing functions so well. It is such a good freaking knife all around. The action, stupid. Ergonomics, really, really good. A choke up point that's really, really good. A blade that is relatively thick to start with, but comes down to a super slicey edge. Beautiful flat grind done that's like half mirrored polished, I would say. It's just a really shiny satin finish that they got going on here with. They got these scales that are blasted with this perfect inlay of carbon fiber, and it is just like I said. And to cap it off, they added a lanyard post, which in my opinion is the best way to do a lanyard. I'm not a lanyard guy. I even think it looks cool, and I'm not a lanyard guy. This knife could be a forever knife, and I wouldn't be unhappy about it. This is a fantastic freaking purchase. If you guys are on the fence and you have the money, go for it. If you're on the fence and you don't have the money, there's a budget version. I forgot where to find it. Just look up QSP Legatus and G10, made by Dutch or designed by Dutch Blade Works, and yeah, so freaking good. And then there were 3. So I'm going to go with the Dylan Mallory Forest for my 2021 number 3 favorite. Now the reason for that is because A, it's so new that I'm not sure if my feeling towards this is honeymoon or not. Like, it is so good, and it takes the place of the Bugout and the Penguin in my pocket because this blade is so ultra slicey. It is stupid. I I I like the Centros, but I don't like Dylan Mallory's designs that are so narrow in the handle. I usually don't like that, but this feels really good. It's just enough. And it's so damn lightweight. I think this is 3.03 ounces. The action out of the box with this super light blade was almost drop shut. If I were to take this apart and tune it, it would probably be drop shut. And I'm telling you guys, I don't have many blades in my arsenal that I can cut through an apple and not tear it. Now, why is that? Now, I'm not saying tear. I'm saying as you get halfway down, that little wedge breaks off, right? Now, it's not a big deal, but the point here being is this thing is so ultra slicey. This is a very, very, very good EDC. This is something that you can carry every day, and you'd probably have everything you need out of it, short of a little bit heavier use, because this tip ain't gonna stand up to much. It is not even focusing because it's like a little mosquito on there. Second, the access to the liner is a little rough. Other than that, man, this thing is fantastic. I truly, truly, truly love this knife. Dylan Mallory crushed it and killed it out of the park with this. This just came in, and that's why it's number 3. It probably would be a little bit higher, but, you know, because this is my newer, I don't want to give it the bias of the honeymoon phase. The Dylan Mallory Forest. So good. You can't get that right now, by the way. I didn't mention the Bugout. The Bugout in 20 CV you can get in like G10 for like $200. The Flightanium scales, if you can find them, are about another $60 to $80. Did I miss anything else? Not really. I think I'll move on. Okay. So that's my Forest. Okay, so these are an odd couple. This is the fairly odd couple, but they have similarities, right? If you take a look at these, this is my Berg Blade Slim, which I had no intentions of loving as much as I do. Holy shit. I got this in to compare with the Thick Boy when I get the Thick Boy in. And I bought it off the secondary market, and I'm like, all right, cool. And I got it in, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm sorry, what? This is, that, what? So, let's open both of these up here. Fairly odd couple. It's odd that I'm down to these two, right? So naturally, I'm probably going to go with the Berg Blade Slim for my number 2. Right here, this feels really good. This feels really good. You can move up to here. It doesn't feel the greatest, but it's okay. My pinky actually likes this spot here, which I never do, which is interesting. So it's going to be decent on push cuts. This is kind of a bulkier blade. So it's not necessarily going to be your massive slicer. It's more about the look and the feel of it in hand and kind of how it makes you feel rather than the overall slicing performance. Not saying it won't slice. It is kind of a wedge though. So this is that knife that I'm talking about. If I'm cutting through an apple, it'll break the apple off before it does a full slice through. You guys know what I'm talking about. May not be conveying that properly. But the action on this, guys, once broken in, oh, it's so dumb. Here, give me a sec. I'm going to blow this out real quick. See if you guys can see what I see. All right, ready? Damn. I had this thing drop shut at one point. Ooh, there it goes. Just got to warm it up a little bit. Look at that. It's drop shut. This thing's fantastic. I love the bolster lock design that they got going on here. I love the look of this. The carbon fiber is kind of that shiny carbon fiber. Kind of, I don't know that I like that, but I like it on this design. I think it works. It's kind of that sheep's foot fat in your face, I'm just going to jack things up kind of style. And this knife is super ultra fun to carry. I truly, truly love this knife. And it was a sleeper because I did not expect to love it as much as I do. I don't know if you can get these right now. I want to say these came in around $325. On the secondary market, I think I made a trade for it. I'm not sure. I don't specifically remember, but I don't really care. I love this knife. It is the one that I would have chosen too, the blacked out version. I think it looks sick. So as you can tell, last and my favorite of 2021 is my Hinderer Skinny Sheep's Foot. Now, there's so much to say about this knife, okay? So I first got it, and this was my first real Hinderer. I had a Hinderer 3-inch Generation 4 that was really beat up, and I didn't appreciate it. Like, I don't know. It wasn't newer. You know, the old Hinderers, I didn't really know much about what I was doing at the time either. The old Hinderers, we can zoom in on this guy now. The old Hinderers, like, you guys remember them, when you tried to flick them, they didn't open all the way. The flipper tab didn't work, and you're like, that was so disappointing. I already had the 0562, and that thing pops wide open. This thing doesn't do shit, you know? And then I got this, and I just go, oh, well, actually, no, I didn't do that right away. I was using the flipper tab, which the flipper tab's not there. But the thumb studs, once you learn it, you're like, oh, okay. It took a while to break in, actually, and I could not do the reverse flick. Now, it's like the only way I open it, right? I absolutely love it. But the thumb flick works great, too. I did take off the flipper tab here. As you can see, it's kind of a rudimentary, not really well done, but it's softened. I'm not mad at what I did there. It's not awful. I changed the scale again. I used to have, let's see if I can pull this up real quick. Look at that. Where the hell is it? There it is, at the bottom of the drawer. I used to have this scale on it. Now, this is a sharp dressed knife scale, and you know what? That was a settle. Like, I got this knife in and I wanted a skinny scale, and you guys know Hinderers. It's so hard to find a frickin' scale for a frickin' Hinderer. And then I'm like, I need titanium, and you can't find it. And then when you find it, somebody's charging $275 in the aftermarket because everybody's an asshole with stuff that's hard to get. You're gonna fucking mark it up by 25, 30, 40, 50% just because you can. We're all a community, guys, here. If you want to run a business, start a business. But if you want to just be part of the community, don't rip off your brothers and sisters. That's dumb. So, done with my rant. But anyways, I couldn't find a scale, so I bought this sharp dressed knife scale, and it served me well. I was okay with it. But as of recently, I'm like, I'm getting tired of it. So I got this just pure black micarta scale. Now, this in particular, let's see if I have something here. This in particular, like, I put it on and I immediately was in love. I was like, oh no, this is like love at first sight, guys. This is so awesome. And I thought I wanted the black, right? That's why I got the black micarta, but I saw the light finish and I'm like, wow, that's really, really nice. I might stay with the light finish. But, you know, I got some hand oil, like today I was cooking and I decided to use it. So last night what I was doing was I was rubbing it down. This is a lens wipe, so it's basically an alcohol solution. So I rubbed this down, and it's kind of cool to see this, by the way. That's why I wanted to show it on here. I'm rubbing it down, and I'm trying to clean off the oils that I got on there, and I'm like, come on, I want that gray look back. Come on, give me that light gray. So I took this, and then I blew it off. Now here's some canned air. Watch this. Hey, don't freeze my scale. Thing tried to attack my scale. So you see that? Like, I cleaned it off, and yeah, there's some oil right here. That's from the pivot after I cleaned it up. So that's going to be a little bit harder to come out. But it was just really cool to see that. And I think it looks fantastic. Now, this in hand is an ergonomic dream. Now, the skinny in particular, the best part about the skinny is it's still extremely ergonomic. But you know what you can do? It slips into your pocket way easier. I changed out the flipper, or the pocket clip, with the pocket clip that I didn't think I would like. And then once I had it on, I'm like, that actually looks good. I laid back the edge on this guy so that it's extra slicey. Let's see here. And I did that freehand, so that felt good to do. I was like, all right, cool. It's nice and sharp, nice and slicey. As you can see, I poked it a couple times for HRC testing. I want to say this came in around 61, 62-ish, plus or minus. And overall, this is probably my biggest point of pride in ownership as far as knives go. I don't think there's any other knife that I'm like, if I had this and something else in my pocket, if I had to choose one to kind of impress, bam, there it is. Right? And this is a user. I use the living shit out of this. So, yeah, this is, if I had to choose one knife in my collection, as hard as it would be, this would be it. This is my baby, and this is my favorite acquisition, I think, of 2021. I think I got this in the very beginning of the year. Hope you guys enjoyed that list. This is Everyday EDC's favorite knives of 2021 that he has experienced. He as in third person. Oh my God, I just referred to myself in third person. This is Tyler. Damn it. This is my favorite 2021 knives that I experienced. You guys stay sharp. Stay safe. Have a great freaking day, guys. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, if you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and or leave a comment. The whole reason this channel was created was to interact with you guys and just share the love of knives. So until next time, you guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great freaking rest of your day. Thanks for watching.